now it's time for the beret. So the beret has three parts. This, which I call the stem. You've got the under side of the beret, which Dolly's head goes through. And then you've got the top side of the beret. It's very, very simple. So what we're going to do first is taking your stem or your stalk. You just need to overlap the ends slightly. Probably best to do a few little stitches in there just to secure it with a hand needle. And then once that's in, if I can just fudge it together for 1 second, you'll have your little stalk. So once that is sewn, find the centre of your top part of your beret and just sew that little seam that you made before onto the hat here, going through to the other side, a couple of stitches, the same as you would a button, and then that bit will stay on there. Now, that then makes this side of the beret the right side of the beret. So in order to put the base on, what we're going to do is we're going to offer up the base of the beret here. Still got our stalk sticking out of the middle. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sew around the edge with a 1 centimetre seam, all the way round. And then we'll come back and I'll show you how to tidy up the seam. So here we are. I've sewn around the edges of the brim. And don't forget, yours will have the little stalk on, but I haven't attached mine yet. So essentially what you'll be looking at is something like that. Now, we're going to neaten this seam. Obviously, because we're going to turn this the right side out in a moment, and these are circles. So everything in there is curved, which means when we turn it out, it's going to need some ease, not only to make the excess fabric in the seam overlap and sit flat, but also to give it some lateral side to side play. Now, there's a couple of ways of doing this, and because it's felt and it doesn't fray, this is my preferred method. Welcome to Mrs. Pink. These are my pinking shears. If you don't have some, get some. You will not regret it. They can be quite expensive, but a little starter pair is absolutely fine. And all we're going to do is trim away all the excess that we may not have room for when we turn the beret inside out, or rather the right way out. We're just going to use our pinking shears, and you can see, look at how much stuff is coming away. That is all bulk that you don't need inside Dolly's hat. So absolutely great for reducing bulk. And as I say, because this is felt, it wouldn't fray anyway. But you can pink any fabric to minimise the fraying. I'm not going to say it stops it fraying at all. It is very much a case of what material you are using, and it just gives a really nice tidy finish. So that said, what we're going to do now is carefully, as I say, you don't want to put too much pressure on this felt because it will misshape if it's overhandled. So I've just turned my seam to the inside, and you can see it there. And all we're going to do is we're just going to run our finger around the seam to make sure it's opened out nice and evenly all the way around. You can see it sort of taking shape as we go. And we're back to the beginning, and there we have our beret. And of course yours will have the little stalk on it. Mine's run away. Here we are. Ooh la la! There it is finished. So when you pop it onto Dolly, you'll see this isn't actually a circle opening because Dolly's head is slightly oval, well, very oval. So these are the sides that go towards where her shoulders are, and then you've got the front and the back. Now this can become a little bit misshapen here, so what I would suggest is just while you've got the thread in the machine, before you assemble everything, if you just do a stay stitch all the way around. Now a stay stitch is literally a stitch near to the edge of the material, and it's just a straight running stitch, a straight stitch. Just go all the way round, and what that will do is help it to retain its shape. The other thing that you could do is, if you have some spare ribbon, you could actually put ribbon or bias binding around the edge. That would be pretty too. That would be very French actually if it was a grosgrain ribbon. So there's a couple ideas taking that further. But essentially, to learn those techniques to get such a love, I mean, look how round that is and how it's sitting beautifully flat. Amazing. And our little stem. So there's all the little techniques for the beret. And next I expect you'll be moving on to the other accessories, which are the shoes and the handbag.